and let us all do we can to build a better future. All right, folks, we are going to move on now to our next segment. Daniel, you got a story for the people. What is going on?
Okay, so we really hit a lot of the Democratic side of this entire debate on oil. Let's hear what Fox News has to say. Our good friends that for most of their history were owned by an Australian and the Saudi government, or the Saudi royal family specifically. It's basically the same thing.
Hey, but they're as American as apple pie, Daniel, so how dare you?
So we're going to see the Republican side go, it's all the Democrats. Let's take a look.
Class and people at the lower end of the income scale who are really getting hammered, and the fact that the American left guys almost...
Glad to see Fox News for once caring about people on the lower end of the income scale. I just want to... Progress, guys, progress.
Yeah, occasionally they get it right, but then they miss the mark.
Oh, I know. I'm every step I'm going to call out. Let's see it. Next one. Let's continue.
Exclusively got us in this spot where we put ourselves, we painted ourselves in an energy corner. They will never have to apologize, not one bit. The media will find any way to...
Man, it's a crazy thing that Democratic and Republican oil and gas policy are just so different from each other. We would have maybe not... Oh, wait, no, they're rather indistinguishable. So...
blame anyone but themselves and the leftist activist community that put us in this hole.
But pause it. Given I want to ask anyone in the, quote, leftist activist community, do you feel that you've contributed at all to Joe Biden's energy policy?
No, wait, better yet. Hold on, audience. Let's have democracy in the chat. Hold on, Faze. We gotta do the great emoji. Let's have democracy. Let's have democracy. Chat, type 1, especially if you're a leftist progressive. Type 1 if you felt like you've made a severe impact, not only to the Biden-Harris administration, but to all the other administrations.
Your voice is being heard by the energy companies.
By the energy companies. Type 1 if you made an impact. Type 2 if this guy's speaking out of his asshole. Democracy. I think we should get back to it. There we go.
Let's see what else he has to say.
The fact this is an election year, at some point, now gas is on national average $4 a gallon. If it gets to $5 or $6 a gallon, at some point, Joe Biden is going to have to talk to the American people and say, you know what? We're going to have to revisit our pipeline situation because the decisions made...
So pause it. Okay, so now what they're doing is, at some point, Joe Biden will have to speak, which is a tall order in and of itself.
Yeah.
And he's going to have to say, hey, we should think about the pipeline situation, which as much as we were laughing at CNN for making stupid points earlier in the previous segment, Fox News is also making a stupid point because they're saying, man, if Joe Biden just immediately builds another 50,000 miles of pipeline overnight, as one does, and then you also have to build the refineries that go along with those pipelines. In the next week, our oil crisis will be solved. As if there's a solution that we haven't locked ourselves into because of many administrations.
I also want to add in something here, too. Look, this whole idea of building pipelines, we've had, I think, pretty much he's going to be our most interviewed person, the MVP, Robbie Yeager, who works for Mikasa Casa Network, has done fantastic investigative work, not only into Democratic election fraud, but also into the fact that there's still an ongoing leak at the Colonial Pipeline, and we don't still know the full on-scale damage of that leak and whether or not there are any other leaks happening in that Colonial Pipeline.
You heard it from Kit. They haven't fixed a pipeline breach in months. They'll clearly be able to build 8,000 miles of pipeline and the infrastructure to house it, just like that.
And the thing is, as you have covered, as I've talked about, and even as we had Robbie Yeager on our show too, these pipelines are built cheap. They're fragile. And two kids on their ATVs just drive around, mind their own business. They were not state officials. They were not federal officials. Hell, they weren't even county or city officials. Two kids find this pipeline and busted and leaking in North Carolina. And the thing is, these pipelines failed. Same thing with the Dakota Access Pipeline. Line 3, Line 5, that's over there by Lake Michigan. It's 50 plus years old. Right over there by Lake Michigan, large body of fresh water. This whole idea of building pipelines, the American consumer, Fox News, Sometimes you're on the mark, but man, did you just shoot way off? It's sort of like we're asking you to do a 3-point shot, and you're kind of on the point. Like, yes, American consumers are suffering right now because of the higher gas rates. But then instead of asking you to throw a 3-point shot, you drop trowel, take a dump on the floor, and say, "I did it. I win." No, building pipelines is a dumb idea. It's not economically feasible, and the consumer doesn't benefit.
You know what Joe Biden could do that would be unacceptable to do?
Let's hear it.
He tries to talk to the American people. He'll talk like this to the wrong camera. He'll be like, "Americans, we're going to give each of you $200 a month to deal with this crisis per family unit."
Also, I want to acknowledge one of our viewing audience, Chris Shepard, who says, "Please don't start pipelines across the Great Lakes." Too late. Too late.
Been there, done that.
Too late. Oh, my friend, you're too late. Look up after the show, Chris Shepard, you're a good guy. Google, or however you want to do it, Line 5 pipeline. And then also when you have a chance, check out Line 3 on how it's going to impact all the freshwater lakes in Minnesota, of all places. So, yeah, it's too late. I hear you. You're absolutely right, but too late, my friend. Too late.
Let's see what these friends at Fox have to say.
At the beginning of the administration, no longer appropriate given the fact that we were relying so much on Soviet gas, or rather Russian oil.
You know, Steve, that's what I love about you. You're such an optimistic guy.
40 years old.
I'm telling you that's not going to happen. Right now, given our present pipeline infrastructure capability, we can probably do 1.5 million more a day if Joe Biden were to change course, okay?
Right.
But without building, without finishing Keystone, without the North Slope, without AMWR, without
we should open up those pipelines that will take months to finish.
There is no way in Hades we're going to replace the 8 million barrels a day. There's no way. And Joe Biden does not have the intestinal fortitude to stand up to the AOC wing of his party and say, "I'm going to do it, build out our infrastructure, and I'm going to save Americans money at the pump."
The AOC wing of his party.
I heard that too.
Every part of that is funny. First of all, wing implies many people working together, which, as we know, isn't true. The squad was a moniker given to them by Nancy Pelosi as more of a joke that they're all individuals. Yeah. So, wing, party, what is the Democratic Party anymore but a bunch of miserable lies? He's literally like, "Hey, I've been paid to say we should reopen Keystone, a thing that will take months to complete if we do it. That won't help anyone right now, but we should do it because we shouldn't be doing other things, and we shouldn't have planned for this."
Okay, AOC wing of the party. So, hey, chat, we're going to have democracy one more time. Do a little more democracy. Type 1 if you think the AOC wing of the party, of the Democratic Party, is dominant, strong, and invincible. Type 3 if you think it's dominant and strong. Type 3 if you think the AOC wing, Democratic Party, is strong. Type 4 if you know that it's nothing but a, well, pipe dream.
Ah, that was good.
There you go.
That was good.
So type 3 if you think it's strong. Type 4 if you know it's a pipe dream. Because let's face it,
like, I want that pension.
Yeah, because there's another video that Case Study QB put on too, but it's basically the same thing where you had Fox News blaming Bernie Sanders because we just don't have enough pipelines. We don't have enough pipelines.
This is our thing when we say there's really no distinguishing factor between either party. You have the exact same people yelling at the exact same people. That this side will yell at this side. They just yell at each other. No one takes responsibility. No one does anything, and you suffer.
Look, this whole idea that, again, you can reform the Democratic Party, again, it's foolish. And this whole idea that AOC and the progressive movement or Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren are somehow shaking things up and preventing the Democrats or Republicans from building pipelines. Look, pipelines are going to be built and approved. Look what happened with the Dakota Access Pipeline. It was happening under Obama's administration. Trump was doing all this stuff. Look, the pipelines are going to be built, but let's say they are built. Let's say Biden decides to do it. Let's say he follows this Jagoff's plan. Do you think you, the American consumer, are going to reap the benefits of these pipelines? No, you don't. These pipelines are built cheap. They don't bring in jobs. They do bring in jobs. Those jobs are temporary, and they will fail, and they will cause environmental issues. Environmental issues that will impact communities and ecosystems for a lifetime. This is why we got to get off our addiction of fossil fuels. I think there might be a little bit more into that video. So
I think we could ignore it. I think there's all this needs to be said has been said.
We got to be better. But again, Fox News, like any other media outlet, especially in the United States, a corporate media outlet, they have their narrative, they have their opinions, which they are entitled to. But they're wrong on this. They're wrong on the fact that somehow AOC and Squad or Bernie are.
I don't think they even believe it. They just
they don't. They're saying it because
their audience believes it.
No, I don't think even their audience. I think they're saying it because that's their script. That's their character they get to play. They
Whose fault is it? Nancy Pelosi, AOC, Bernie Sanders, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris.
Biden's a communist. Biden's a socialist. Biden's an anarchist. Biden's this and that and that. And that's it. And the thing is, the only reason why Fox News has so many viewers is, dare I say it, it's more entertaining probably to watch.
It is.
Compared to CNN or MSNBC. And,
they have lifelong viewers that don't have much lifelong yet.
That goes for CNN and MSNBC.
That goes for all of them.
That goes for all.
That's why they're so desperate to shut down independent media, which is why you should help us on Patreon.
That's right. Boom. There you go. So final note for the story. Break away from corporate media. Break away from the two-party system.